Okay, good morning, everyone. Shalom Aleichem. Shmuel Aleph, Perek Chav Zayin, chapter 27. We just left off with Shaul promising that he is never going to hurt David ever again. And he gives him a bracha. And he gives him a bracha that you should be blessed and that Hashem should really be with you your entire life. That is the final time that David and Shaul ever meet. So now you're David, and you have your responsibilities since you've run away have increased because you're not only taking care of yourself, you now have a few wives. Michal is not with you, but you have Achinoam and Avigail, and you have 600 men and their families with you. So you can't just be a renegade hiding in the middle of in the middle of the desert anymore. You have people. You have a people without a land. And what do you do? Like, what happens to people like that?
What's the stat?
Yeah, what's his status as being king? Yeah. So who knows that he's king? Hashem assumed that Shevet Yehuda or Shevet Yehuda assumed he was king. Normally assumed that the assumption of that conversation was what does David do? So let's here, Torah says you don't speak to yourself. Some of us speak to ourselves. Sometimes we think. So listen to the way the Torah describes it. Vayomer David el libo. David speaks to his heart. And that is the way Vayomer Hashem el libo. We read once in Sefer Bereshit that Hashem speaks to his heart, meaning we get different in Tanakh and the Torah. In terms, some people, the Torah says, to others, libo on, and the examples of speak. Why? Because Rishayim are not in control of their emotions. And alibo is an expression of like, I'm just impetuous. The way that I'm acting is very, very, something happened, emotionally, I'm going to act right away. David right now is Elibu. I'm thinking this through. Where do I need to go? Right? This is very reflective and thoughtful. Rav Hirsch writes on the pasuk that I quoted this past Shabbos, Vayifen kol vacho, vayar ki ein ish. Moshe looked this way and he looked that way and he saw no one was there. He says that's the mark of a good leader. Why? Because Moshe didn't act right away. He saw something heinous. He tried a Mitzri beating a Jew in broad daylight and no one's doing anything. Even then, Moshe didn't act right away. Viscerally, he wouldn't act right away. But Moshe paused and he thought about it. Does this make sense for me to? And he decided, yes, it does. There's no witnesses. There's no people. I need to do this. And also, as a Jew, we need to show in broad daylight that we're not afraid. And then we're for people. But he paused. He had patience in making a decision. So that's a mark of a good leader. Vayomer el libo. Vayomer David el libo. Ata esafeh yom echad biyad Shaul. If I hang around Eretz Yisrael for longer, it's likely that Shaul's going to catch up to me, and I'm not going to I can't rely on these too many near misses. Ainli tov. I have no goodness here. I have no choice. Ki himaleit el eretz plishtim. What am I going to do? I need to go back to the plishtim. V'noash mimeni Shaul levaksheni od. And once word gets back to Shaul, hopefully he will be noash. What does the word noash mean? He'll give up, right? He'll give up from trying to kill me. And I'll be able to be successful in running away from him. He's mishpah with Mav, no? We learned already that David sent other family members to Moab. It's not in the Navi. We'll see David, the Moabites murder his parents. So he knows that he can't go there. So much for being family. So the only place he thinks maybe he can go to is the Plishtim. After all, they are very afraid of him. So hopefully they'll listen to him. He went there once before. What happened when he went there once before? They brought him to the king. Well, Plishtim don't have a king. Plishtis have like a conglomerate. They have like 5 people in charge of all their decisions. You think that everyone had a king back then. What? A tribunal. Yeah, that's what they had. A quintunal, I guess. I don't know. So they had, and they brought him before Achish, and he faked being crazy, right? And because of that, they said he's seething at the lips, at the mouth, and they got rid of him. They said something must have happened to David Nebuch. We don't need him here. But now he's going to go again.
Shouldn't he be afraid that the Plishtim are going to take revenge on him?
Good. So how is he going to address this? The Plishtim, he was in the first time we met David, when he came on the scene, not only did he kill Goliath, but he kept killing hundreds and thousands of Plishtis. So now he's going to go there. How is he going to convince the Plishtim that he, or at least, so he feigned this the first time. That's in chapter 20. That's earlier. That's 23 earlier. So now what's he going to do? Vayakam, pasuk beis. Vayakam David vayvor hu v'sheish meos ish asher imo. El Achish ben Ma'och melech Gas. The Navi is pointing out here, Achish ben Ma'och. It's purposeful because the Navi, I think later, teaches us that Goliath had a few brothers. One of them was Achish. This is not the same one. So the Navi needs to tell us, Achish ben Ma'och, the son of Ma'och, that this is not the same Achish related to Goliath. Because that would have been probably a big problem. Vayeshe David Achish begas hu vanashav ishu beiso David ushtei nashav achinom Israelis vavigail eshes navala karmelos. So he is with Achish. Nothing yet happens. Vayugad Shaul ki barach David gas velo yasaf od levaksha. Shaul finds out. Shaul just promised David he's never going to touch him again. But David knew that wasn't true. David knew that wasn't going to last very long, because we see from here that Shaul is still looking for David. It was told to Shaul that David ran away to Gat. Gat is one of the 5 cities of the Plishtim. And so Shaul gave up. I'm not going to go into enemy territory. That's a really bad idea. I'm not going to risk my life to kill David. That's not going to happen. But it's very, very clear that Shaul never gave up. Why did David know that Shaul wasn't going to give up this time? Well, he never gave up beforehand. But on Metzudas, David writes that every time David became great, got people, Shaul became more and more jealous. So here, it was Shaul's fault. What did Shaul do? He gave bracha. By giving him a bracha, right? Eventually, Shaul realized, wait, I gave him a bracha? That's not good. I'm a king. I gave him a bracha. That bracha works. And then that issue, that with David kicked in, and he went to go look for him. Vayomer David al Achish. So now, what's he going to do? If at all possible, perhaps I could find chen, grace, in your eyes. Can you give me one of the cities on the outskirts of Gat? Gat was presumably a region. Can you give me one of the small little municipalities there for me and my people to live? Like it's a field, a nice area.
Why should they give it to him?
What?
Why should they give it to him?
Why should they give it to him? So it's going to come out soon. But David is offering Achish his services. I can make you a lot of money. I could be your mercenary. At this point, which wasn't true earlier, everybody knows, all the neighboring countries, they all know that for some reason, Shaul wants to kill David. And David has become persona non grata in Israel. So when David now comes to Achish, he's coming with that knowledge. But yet to be determined who was right, and would David give up his own people? Is David giving up on his own people? And would David take vengeance on his own people? As he turns, well, now David with 600 men, hands up, white flags. Achish, we're yours. It's a lot of neighboring people over here. We back them, and we could bring you their spoils. How does that sound? All I need from you, a place to live. Look, there's women and children here. You think I'm going to run away? You think I'm lying to you? If I'm lying to you, what's going to happen to them? Sounds like a good plan. So David says to Achish, it would be a bit for me in the Ir Hamam, Imach, for me to live next to you, next to your palace. That would be a really bad idea. It would be awkward. It would be strange. What are all these Jews doing around here? Give me something separate. Give me something separate, quiet, and don't worry, I will take care of you. So for Achish, I don't know, what do you think? You're Achish. You bite.
Achish says himself that he doesn't do what David wants, David can take it by force because he's proven what kind of a warrior he is.
So Yossi's saying that Achish used Talmudic knowledge, Miman Afshach, we would say in the Gemara. Either way, meaning if David is really being honest, I'm a win. If he's not being honest and I say no, he can attack me, right? So if I say no, either way, he's going to attack me. So I might as well say yes, right? He's coming now with an army, a small army. He's coming with an army. No, honey, you say no.
just noticed that the players are because is this the Palestine and Israel here? Are there either going to both turn on each other, or are there other people here besides these two that
So it's
control? I get it, but that's it. In other words, if there are other people, other factions besides the militia and the Israel that need to be taken care of, then I see this working.
Yeah, we will see. Okay. There are other.
Yeah, there are other.
Yeah.
People that need to be.
I thought you were asking a different question. Like, what about? There's a lot of plishti, right? We said there's like 5 different so-called sarni plishtim. That's going to be clear over the next several prakim that they don't really know much of what's happening here, at least now in the beginning. And Achish is making his own decision, and this is lining his own pockets. Okay? And that's it's safety also. It's not he's going to provide protection, safety. Achish can build up an empire over here. And in addition, there are other pockets of people that are around during that time.
Even sooner or later, as soon as David takes care of those other. Lead everybody else up. This is our next hit.
Great question. So what's going to happen in the future? He said, okay, we got to attack the Jewish people. What are you going to do? Okay, that's going to come up. Spoiler alert. We're going to see it. It's going to come up in 2 prakim. Vahi mispar yamim. Sorry. V'yitin lo achish b'yamahu et Siklag l'chein ha'isat Siklag l'machei Yehuda ad hayom hazeh. He gives him a city named Siklag, and Siklag eventually becomes part of Malchei Yehuda. The Malbim writes here, we learned together Sefer Yoshua, but in Sefer Yoshua, the cities to the Jewish people, as the Plishtim took it back. The Plishtim stole it from the Jewish people, and now Ashkacha Pratis, it belonged to Yehuda. He's giving this city to David. Unbelievable. And the Navi's telling us that Siklag, we can go to, I meant to look. Siklag is part of modern day Israel. You can go to Siklag today and visit, this location. Vahi mispara yamim asher yashav David b'stei plishtim yamim v'arba'a chadashim. David was there and really was relatively quiet, it seems like, for yamim v'arba'a chadashim, which Rashi interprets as 4 months and 2 days. If yamim here meant, and some maybe it's a little bit longer. Sometimes yamim rabim means a year, but he was there for a nice amount of time to get settled in Siklag. Vayal David v'anashav, and then we'll learn about the locations that David would go to. Vayal David v'anashav vayifshitu el Geshuri v'hagirzi v'hamaleki kihina yoshvos haaretz asher me'olam bo'acha shura v'at eretz Mitzrayim. So David goes ahead and he attacks 3 cities or 3 peoples: Geshuri, Grizi, and the Amalekim. He attacks them and he takes all of their spoils. See, for David, this is very much a win-win. For David, so what he's doing is he's helping Am Yisrael, but under the guise of helping the Plishtim. And it's great because if they ask him, what army are you? Who should we get angry at? The Plishtim. V'hika David es haaretz v'lo yechaya ish v'isha v'lakach tzon v'akar v'chamarim golim u'bgadim v'yashav v'yavo el Achish. David totally destroys all the cities, and he brings back all of the spoils of war, and he gives them to Achish. So, and then, right, part of this group is Amalek, which we know is always our enemy. Here, this is just a important point that's going to come up. Usually we have the Amalekim coming to attack us, or there's like a moment where Shaul is told to attack the Amalekim. Here it's like very non-dramatic. They just sees Amalek, living in a certain region, and he says, let's attack them. This is a proof for the other side. We've said many times that the Amalekim are not a people per se, that it's a people that's passed down in their genealogy, their genes, but really it's an ideology. Here it sounds like more of a proof that it's a people. They live in a certain region, and they're called the Amalekim, right? And they happen to live in a certain place. And this seems to be a phrase that Achish would ask David frequently. Where are you guys going today? Where can I expect presents from? Al Pashat Tamayom. Vayomer David, Al Negev Yehuda, Al Negev Hayirach Me'eli, Al Negev Akeni. Why is that answer very important? How does he answer him? He's so brilliant in the way that he answers him.
Telling him exactly the people.
Why he's not telling him the people?
Yeah.
The Navi told us the people. He doesn't say Amalek, Greasy, and Geshuri. He tells him the regions. Why is he doing that? It's Mefurish the Malbim. What is Achish going to think in his mind? Who is he attacking? The Jewish people. Negev, Yehuda. So he really is thinking that David really sold out his people. Negev, Yehuda. And David's not lying, because that's where they are. They're in the region of Judea and Samaria, right? That's the regions that he's attacking are called Negev, Yehuda. Achish ki niv'ash b'Yisrael. Achish will think that he really gave up on the people. V'ish v'isha lo yechaya David. And David would kill the entire city. He would destroy the entire city. Why? No witnesses. People would come back. Achish could find no children. Good. So he was and they're not old enough, or they took care of them. You're right, it's a good point. So he didn't want adults at least to be around, because then they could share where exactly David attacked. And if that word came out, then David's cover would be blown.
What did he find out eventually?
Right, so we don't know how much time David thinks he's working with. David was crowned as king. This time period, according to many in Chazal, took 2 years. This whole David anointed as king and not becoming king. So, but David didn't know that. So it's really not clear.
He was anointed.
Right.
So once he's anointed, there was that was the tension between him and Saul. The fact that he kills Goliath, he kills Goliath.
Right.
And all of a sudden Saul is going, who is this guy?
Who is this guy? Right.
Well, he knows who he is. He said, who
right.
is he? Where's he from?
Right.
And then all of a sudden David gets Nebuah, and Saul kind of loses it, and he goes.
Right.
So there was this tension going on all the time.
100%.
Between them, that's why Saul eventually was always chasing him around like, like the sheriff of Nottingham going after Robin Hoods.
Right,
Something like that.
right. So I don't know if David knew how long this would last for. So he's trying to, at least as much as possible, stall. And Achish, I guess, is not looking. What does he care? He's getting his payday. It's working for him. So it's working for him, it's working for David, and everyone is okay. Famous last words, right? Until you're not okay. But that's the point. Vaya'amein Achish b'David lemor. Vaya'amein. That's a very strong language. Vaya'amein. We actually have it in Shemot. Vaya'amein ha'am. The Jewish people believed in Moshe. He believes in the loyalty of David HaMelech. And David is a loyal guy in general. David's keeping his word. And you see, he's not going to take revenge against, we'll see later when he becomes king, does he go ahead and take revenge against the Plishtim? He's going to take revenge against other nations. What does he do with the Plishtim at this point? They're taking care of him. Achish says, he's really given up on his people. And he's going to be my servant forever. Like for Achish, 1 second, Nathan, this is like the best deal ever. Right? Best deal ever. Yeah, Nathan. Nathan? Did we lose you?
Can you hear me?
Nathan?
Can you hear me?
Uh,
Can you hear me, Rabbi?
yeah.
Can you hear me now? Rabbi,
Yes, we can.
don't we have a mitzvah to kill Amalek?
Okay, Nathan. Yeah, I'll
Yes?
see you at Mincha.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
you can call me on my phone, okay?
All right. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, so Bezrat Hashem, we will continue next week with chapter 28. Have a great day.
Nathan, we can hear you.